Funny you say that. Special interest brought to you by the good people at Ladbrokes. This week, what are we doing?
We're talking about finals footy.
Just around the corner, isn't it?
It's just around the corner. We've got AFL starting. We've got 2 more rounds of rugby league. And it's a great time of year, finals time. And we're going to talk about finals momentum specifically. And we're going to talk about multiple codes, not just here in Australia, but also internationally. I keep looking at that camera. This is tripping me out. I feel like, imagine if you're on like a TV show and you've got multiple cameras. You don't really know where to look. That's why they always mess it up.
Yeah.
I'm just going to... Just getting there right now.
Yeah.
Anyways, so we're talking about finals momentum, talking about some of the great finals runs, unexpected runs.
Yes.
So I'll kick it off.
Go on.
With Parramatta Eels in 2009. All aboard the Jared Hayne plane.
I thought it was a train.
No, it's the Hayne plane. Final destination, prison. Mate, to be honest though, that year he was next level good. So Parramatta finished 8th.
Yeah, bro.
In the finals, well, heading into the finals in 2009. Beat the minor premiers, the Dragons, on their way into the NRL Grand Final, where they lost, mate, only 23-16 to a Storm side that wasn't necessarily playing by the rules.
No, they weren't, were they?
So that's one hell of a run through the finals. And yeah, Jared Hayne played some of the best rugby league you'll ever see.
Turbo-esque, you might say?
Mate, it was literally Turbo-esque, which is insane to think that Turbo's putting out numbers pretty much every game this year that are probably, to be honest, better than what Jared Hayne did during that finals run.
Yeah, unbelievable. And I don't know the exact stat, but weren't they at like round 18 or 16 or something? They were like 13th.
Mate, they had to, I think it was something ridiculous. They had to win like their last 4 or 5 games just to make the finals.
Yeah. Yeah, it was crazy.
Crazy finals run. So I'll always remember it because the Dragons were minor premiers and lost to the Broncos in the first round of the finals and then lost to the Eels, so they went out in straight sets. But lucky full redemption the next year. So
absolutely. Well, you've started well. So I'm gonna turn back the clock a bit, not too far, but the Adelaide Crows of 1998. So what I've just realised is what I've written down isn't on the screen in front of me. So bear with me. But what they did was they were the premiers the year before. And it was a different finals system. So first played 8th, which the NRL used to do as well until more recently. But yeah, the AFL, back then they used to do that as well. But yeah, the Crows, I think up until about round 8 that year, they'd only won like 2 games. And then they just went on this massive winning streak. Up until the finals, they won 10 in a row. And then they got absolutely pumped by the Demons in the first round. And then they went on one of the great runs of all time. They beat either the Dogs or Sydney. They beat them leading into the grand final where they beat North Melbourne, who were basically the team of the 90s. But North Melbourne had 30 scoring shots at goal in the grand final. And Adelaide only had like 20.
Gee whiz.
Yeah. But, Adelaide, they just like, it's crazy. They lost by about 10 goals and then they won by, I think they won by 60 or 70. Then they won by 27. Then they polished off North Melbourne by about 4 goals in the final.
Not bad. 90s footy.
Shithouse to penthouse
in
a week.
The definition.
Yeah.
Mate, 90s AFL would have been a bit of a rough and ready, I'm guessing.
Oh, yeah. There's plenty of space on the field, but then, like, there was a lot of running straight.
Yeah.
A lot of stiff arms.
Yeah, I love to see it.
Yeah.
90s rugby league was great too.
Yeah.
Just brutal sport.
Yeah. I reckon I'd enjoy that. I remember watching, might have been, was it the Broncos? Did they win in 2000?
Yeah, they did.
Against the Roosters?
Can't remember who it was against, but it was in 2000, yeah.
I think it was the Roosters, and I remember watching that on KO. And there was unlimited rotations. It was the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. It was just bloke coming off the field. It was crazy.
Yeah.
And yeah, the Bronx, shit hot side. Lottie, you had Shane Webke.
Big Dell.
Lockyer,
Alfie.
Alfie.
Kevy. Yeah, it's a stack side.
It is.
It's a ridiculously
Mick
good
DeVere?
side. Mick DeVere, Staples. Staples DeVere. Jeez. Nah, that's a Broncos side that, you know, I reckon just solidified the fan base and made them so strong.
Oh, God, yeah. But looks like Redcliffe is going to be coming to Brisbane pretty soon.
Yeah, that's good.
It's great.
They've got, you know, heaps of pokey machines behind them.
Yeah.
The backbone of every great club.
Absolutely. I heard they had 80 million in the bank for funding. Unbelievable.
Mate, that you should see their leagues club.
I saw it on the television just the other week.
It's incredible.
It was... So I saw Reece Walsh kicking for goal for the Warriors, and behind it was just a couple of old codgers having a schooner.
People of Redcliffe demand a rugby league side.
So they bloody should.
Anyways, moving on, I'm going to take us to one of the biggest competitions in the world, the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
So in 2011, for any aficionados of NBA who are listening, the Dallas Mavericks won. And that was also the first year that LeBron went to Miami and joined forces with Chris Bosh and Dwayne Wade.
Mm-hmm.
So Dallas finished third in the Western Conference. So they had a pretty good season. But heading into the finals, they had to beat Portland, who had a good side, had to beat the Lakers, who had Kobe Bryant.
Wow.
And that's 2011 Kobe. So they'd won in 2010. So they were still a good side. And they beat the Thunder. So that's Kevin Durant, Westbrook, and Harden as sixth man. Just to finally come up against the Heat in the finals. Oh, shit. LeBron James as like a 26 or 27-year-old in his absolute prime. Dwayne Wade, same age. Chris Bosh, same age. All three of the best players in the comp. Mate, Dirk Nowitzki put the rest of Dallas on his back, the whole of Texas actually on his back, and carried them home in 6 games. So he got finals MVP, averaged 26 points and 9.7 rebounds. But no one was tipping Dallas to win the comp, but they just went on one of the all-time runs and beat some serious opposition. Mate, KD, Westbrook and Harden, Thunder, after beating Kobe, just to come up against LeBron. Oh, fuck.
They did it the hard way.
You're Dirk. Poor Dirky.
Dirks.
Dirk. Yeah, just absolutely struggling, but came away with the silverware.
Didn't they? That was a good one. My second and final one is the 2016 Western Bulldogs.
Reckon one of the most famous of all time.
Has to be. Huge assist by the AFL for them, though. So they, at the time, I remember, they were just limping into the final series. It was the first year of the bye before the final series, which they took to full effect. And they played the Eagles over in Perth on the first week, knocked them off by like 44 points or something. Then they went to, who'd they beat in the second round? They finished the Hawthorn dynasty in the second round. They just won the last 3. Bang. And then they knocked off GWS, which was the second highest watched AFL game in history.
Really?
Under grand finals. Yeah.
That's insane.
Because Dog supporters, long-suffering supporters, at the time, longest premiership drought in history. 62 years. And then, they knocked off the Swans, and we played it on our podcast just the other week. Big BT. Shout out to Big BT.
Yeah.
Mate, he's in a bit of strife.
He is, yeah.
I just saw that today.
Yeah, so did I.
Don't know, don't like matches around gas for all of you listening home. So
absolutely crazy.
Yeah, shout out to BT. Hope you're doing well, bro. But 62 years, and now what's that? 64. That's the last time the Demons have won. So they're 67 years, longest drought at the moment.
That's a long time, isn't it?
Well, the longest one I can remember was 72. That was Sydney/South Melbourne.
Right. Okay.
In 2005.
Right.
So 67's getting up there.
Oh, man, that's a long time.
Mate, the last time the Demons won the premiership, decimal currency wasn't even a thing.
Gee whiz.
Yeah, so
67 years, mate. That is... Imagine being like 5 and they're your team and you first start to figure out what it actually means.
Yeah.
Or even when you're 10.
Yep.
67 years later, you're a 77-year-old bloke.
You could be brown bread, bruh.
Mate, you could have lived and been brown bread 3 times over.
100%. People are unlucky.
They are. Jeez.
I feel like that's going to happen to me with the Broncos.
Yeah, well, I can say that I've seen a Dragons premiership.
Yeah, well, the Broncos was 2006, so I probably
Yeah.
could as well. Anyway.
Anyways,
Anyway.
I'm finishing it up with something that you definitely probably wouldn't have heard of
Please.
because I hadn't until I did a little bit digging.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what the FA Cup is?
No.
So it's basically in England, it's a competition where every single team in the country can enter.
Gotcha.
So it doesn't matter if you're little pleb team down the road with Captain Coach Johnny and, you know, you're from a town of 5,000 people.
Gotcha.
You can enter this competition and you have the potential to play Liverpool.
Right.
But the higher up teams don't enter until later on in the competition, if that makes sense, to save them, you know, going to these pleb towns. And no offense to pleb towns in England, but and it's sort of having to go through that way. So anyway, there's a team called Lincoln City Imps.
The Imps.
IMPS, Imps,
Wow.
which is sick. And they represent a town called Lincoln, which has 10,000 people.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. They went on an insane FA Cup run. So they play in the 5th tier in
Right.
England. So
Okay.
Prem's obviously the top, then you got the Champions League, then I think
Yeah.
it's League One, and it goes all the way down. So 5th tier.
Wow.
So they started in the 4th qualifying round. So to even get into the competition, you have to qualify if you're a smaller team. I think the Premier League teams don't enter until maybe the 2nd round or something like that.
Gotcha.
Anyway, so they started in the 4th qualifying round against a team in the same comp as them. They won. Get into the 1st round. They won. 2nd round. Won. 3rd round. Won. 4th round. They beat Burnley. At that time, no, it's in the 4th round, sorry, they beat a Champions League team, which is the tier below Premier League.
Yeah.
And then they get into the 5th round against Burnley, who at the time was a Premier League side, and they beat them. And they get knocked out in the quarters against Arsenal 5-0, which it's Arsenal, right? But so essentially quarters is 8 teams left in the whole of England. Lincoln City from a town of 10,000 people in the 5th tier competition.
I'm trying to put this into context. I reckon it's like not even the Brisbane Lions reserve side in the NEAFL.
No.
Or now the VFL would be their reserve side. Their seconds.
Probably.
So basically their 3rd side.
It'd be like Aspley.
Nah, Aspley's in the VFL. So
Is it?
It'd be their reserve side.
Yeah, so it'd be like that. Making it into like the finals of the AFL.
That is uncomprehendable.
Mate.
That is mind blowing.
So the guy who coached them was a PE teacher.
What?
Yeah, mate. How insane is that? FA Cup.
How many pages on Google did you go to find this?
Mate, I literally just I thought that something like this might have happened in the FA Cup because I've sort of got a bit of familiarity around it, and I knew that you know local clubs can just potentially play against Liverpool in their home stadium or Newcastle at St James's. So I was like, I wonder if anything crazy's ever happened, mate. This is in 2017.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. That would have been around when Leicester won. What is going on?
Man, just a bizarre time.
Yeah. Far out.
But anyway,
Good times.
Lincoln City, look it up. Champions.
Yeah. Well, that's it. Shout out to Ladbrokes, one of the great bookies of all time. You can read all our articles, and they have some other decent articles on there as well.
They definitely do.
Ladbrokes blog. Head down to the special interest section. You'll see stuff about horse racing, footy, all that good stuff. So